It's been a while since I spoke about any Geedis related stuff on the channel, and I've been meaning to talk about the pins, aka the stuff that started the mystery to begin with. I'm glad I waited before making the video though, because recently there's been a big development regarding the pins. Specifically, the Zoltan pin. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you should probably watch my other videos on Geedis first, but if you don't feel like it, here's a summary. In 2017, while shopping for pins online, a comedian named Nate Fernald discovered a character named Geedis. He took to Twitter to try and figure out where it came from. At that point, a sticker sheet containing Geedis and some other characters was discovered. One such character being Zoltan, of which another pin would emerge. Ultimately, it was found that the sticker sheet, including Geedis, was created by the original G.I. Joe artist, Sam Petrucci, for the company Dennison. However, Dennison did not produce the pins, which means that we still have no idea where the pins came from, and that brings us to today. And before I get into the update, I want to shout out the sponsor of this video. This video is sponsored by Raycon. I've been using my wireless Raycon earbuds constantly, almost every day since I got them. They sound great, they're comfortable, and they stay connected to my phone consistently. And I'll have you know that the one and only Melissa Etheridge is completely obsessed with Raycon earbuds. They start at about half the price of any other premium earbuds on the market, and they sound just as amazing as any other top audio brands you know. Their latest model, the Everyday E25, is their best one yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice, noise-isolating fit. It also comes in new fun colors. Just click the link in my description to get 15% off your order. The discovery of the Zoltan pin has been an interesting wrinkle in the whole Geedis story, especially considering that the Geedis pin is what started the whole thing off, and we still don't know where that thing came from. Since the original discovery, a number of similar pins have emerged, including the infamous Tammy, who was posted in response to Nate Fernald's original Geedis discovery. But what makes Zoltan a bit more interesting than any of the other similar pins found is that Zoltan is another character from the same sticker sheet as Geedis. But that being said, the circumstances around the Zoltan pin have always been a little suspect. The Zoltan pin first drew widespread attention when Nate Fernald, who originally discovered the Geedis pin, did an AMA on r/Geedis. There's one thing that the group seems not to have found yet, unless it's buried so deep I couldn't find it. I believe it to be a hoax, but who knows. So, after the initial Geedis burst, a friend of mine sent me a link to a sold auction for a Zoltan pin. I didn't tell anybody about it at the time because I was hoping to find one of my own. But the whole thing is incredibly fishy. Here's the link to the old auction. I messaged the seller but got no response. Their user image is Tammy, and it looks like it's the only item they have ever sold, despite their handle being Pin Seller Guy. There also isn't any feedback left from buyers, only sellers. Haven't been able to find any more info on it, and have never seen another one listed. Oh, and here's a pic. Something feels off about it, but I don't know. It messed me up pretty hard when I saw it. And Nate wasn't the only one who was suspicious about the Zoltan pin. Some people suspected that maybe the image of the pin itself was photoshopped. Others thought it was real but pointed to the difference between the Zoltan pin and the Geedis pin. A redditor named Silverdude made this graphic comparing them. In particular, the Geedis pin has a soft glossy coat while the Zoltan pin doesn't. In addition, the fonts used are slightly different. But you know, this is all circumstantial and there is no real way to debunk it. And with the Geedis pin existing in such a vacuum, there is no reason to discard this pin outright and have it not be a part of Geedis lore. Then, on April Fool's Day of 2020, a pin company named PSA Press puts this out. On Instagram, they're giving away one of these mystery pins with every order. Wonder what it could be. Then a week later, they come clean. Through the offer, they had given away 100 Zoltan pins, and now they're selling the rest of their stock. And on their website, they told the story of how the Zoltan pin came to be. Manufactured in 2017 and released on the occasion of April Fool's Day 2020, the majority of the Zoltan pins were given away for free via our Instagram on 4/1/2020. In August of 2017, we read an Atlas Obscura article about a vintage pin of a brown creature with the name Geedis underneath. This discovery led to a great mystery, an internet sleuth realized that the creature depicted in the pin was from a 1981 sticker sheet entitled The Land of Ta that featured more characters. What is Geedis? What is the Land of Ta? Who made the Geedis pin? Are there any other Land of Ta character pins? We were instantly hooked on the mystery. In 2017, we designed and manufactured a Zoltan pin and tried as hard as we could to make it look vintage. Zoltan is another character included in the Land of Ta sticker sheet that included Geedis. The PSA in PSA Press stands for Public Service Announcement, but we included an Easter egg on the back of the pin with the creation of a new company for this release, the Pin Society of America. We purposefully manufactured them so there would be color inconsistencies from pin to pin. For example, some have red mouths, some have green, some have enamel in the armbands, and some have been left empty to expose the gold medal. Some have a full epoxy coating, and some have areas that were left empty. We commonly used muted colors and intentional flaws in other vintage-style pins that we design. Vintage pins are not designed well by modern standards, and have flaws, which is something we love and try to embrace. Since 2017, we have been seeding Zoltan pins all across the country by donating them to various thrift stores, street vendors, posting an eBay listing of a scuffed up pin, etc., in order to encourage the discovery of the pin. Also, thanks to our Instagram followers, we were able to procure a vintage Geedis pin for our collection. Since then, the story exploded and the result is a dedicated subreddit, r/Geedis, that has over 15,000 members dedicated to exploring the mystery. Because of this community, some great findings have been made, including the discovery of the artist who originally drew the artwork used for the 1981 sticker sheet, and the birth of Geedis/Zoltan. We figured April Fool's Day 2020 was a good time to spill our beans. Special thanks to Nate Fernald, Atlas Obscura, Endless Thread, and of course the entire r/Geedis community for creating and researching one of the best internet mysteries of all time, and certainly one of the best stories in pin collecting of the past few years. And granted, anybody could just say all this to sell a pin, right? But the story adds up. Although the Geedis story picked up a lot of momentum this past year, and because of that, a lot of people tried producing their own Geedis merchandise, remember that Nate Fernald saw this pin all the way back in 2017. A time frame that lines up with someone seeing the Atlas Obscura article. And if you still have any doubts that this is definitely the company behind the original Zoltan pin, as it turns out, a few months ago, a Redditor actually caught them red-handed. You see, back in September, PSA Press had posted a picture of the Geedis pin that they spoke about in this article. A Redditor named Bush Dwelling Queef noticed something. The background behind this Geedis pin was the exact same background behind the infamous Zoltan picture. So he messaged them. Do you know anything about the Zoltan pin? I only ask because your picture of the Geedis pin is on the exact same backdrop as the only known pic of the Zoltan pin, lol. We have seen the Zoltan pin, but yeah, we don't know what's up. I keep my pins on cardboard and corkboard. So basically, Bush Dwelling Queef blew this case wide open, but he would not be vindicated for several months. But PSA Press are being good sports and they're sending him a free Zoltan pin in exchange for figuring this out months before anybody else did. And thus, the mystery of the Zoltan pin is solved. Just a red herring in the greater Geedis mystery. One that, in a way, leaves us with more questions than answers. Was Geedis the only Land of Ta character to have a pin made back in the day? And if so, how and why? We still have no idea. But anyway, that's all for now. If you like this video, check out my video about the missing farm game. I'm out of here.